I want to quickly go over the similarities and differences between the Wusthof Ikon and the Shun Premier lines. Both of these lines, as you all know, are pretty much the highest tier lines that both of these companies give out, with the exception of some really limited edition, really special lines they make. So it's a perfect comparison between the two. It's pretty much the top tier German knife versus the top tier Japanese knife from these two companies. Off the bat, I definitely do feel that one of these is the winner, especially considering the fact that these are both in the exact same price point. And let's discuss exactly what the similarities are and the differences, and we'll go from there. Both of these knives are handmade. Both of these knives are forged knives, and both of them actually have very similar angles. The Premier is a 16-degree angle, which is very sharp, and the Wusthof is a 14-degree angle, which is a thinner, even sharper blade by a great margin. Where it really comes into play is the metal they use for the knives. Shun uses VG Max, which, as you all know, VG10 is the gold standard in the world of knife making, and VG Max is a notch above that, so it's even harder, it's even more resilient, and it holds an edge even better. On top of that, they then wrap either side in 34 layers of stainless steel, which number one gives it this gorgeous Damascus pattern on the bottom, but number two, it makes it very resistant to stains, to pitting, to rust, and things like that. They then go one step further past that, and they do a hammered finish on the top, which not only looks gorgeous, just like the Damascus on the bottom, but it also helps release food so that food doesn't stick. The end result is that the 16-degree angle on there stays on the knife for a long time because the metal is so hard. The Wusthof, by contrast, uses their own proprietary 58 hardness steel, which is a much softer steel, and on top of that, they don't do anything extra to the blade. It's just straight 58 hardness steel. There's no cladding, there's nothing along those lines. So what that means is, since the blade is even thinner than 16 degrees, it's 14 degrees, and since it's even softer, it's much more apt to bend, it's much more apt to get dull, and it needs sharpening and everything much more often. Plus, it doesn't have any of those nice form and function elements like the hammered finish or the Damascus blade, even though they're both roughly the same price. With that said, both knives are full tang, and both knives do have nice handles. The handle on the Shun is an asymmetrical sort of nice handle with a little bit of bulge here, so it fits into your hands, and it actually feels very nice. And by contrast, the Wusthof handle is a league above that. You can tell they've designed it to be as ergonomic as possible, and really, like, however you're holding the knife, it fits into your hand phenomenally. So that's one thing you might want to consider. Both knives have lifetime warranties, which is great, but the Shun takes it one step further and also does a lifetime of free sharpening, which I've always thought is an amazing deal breaker. The reason is because with knives like this, if you send them to a reputable sharpener who does it by hand, it's going to cost you roughly $5 per inch for a non-serrated blade, which means both of these, being 8-inch chef's knives, are going to cost you about $40, and even then you don't really know what the results are going to be. Are you going to get a great edge, or are you going to be one of those horror stories that we always hear about? With the Shun, you send it to Shun. First and foremost, they look at the knife. If they see any problems, they throw it away. But otherwise, you can rest easy knowing they're going to put the exact same edge right back on the knife that you first fell in love with when you purchased it, and they're going to do it for free, which I think is a no-brainer. So it really depends on the type of knife you like. If you want a sort of heavier, more burly German knife, the Ikon is the best German knife out there, literally speaking. And if you want a more sort of Japanese, lighter, more nimble knife, the Shun is going to be one of your best choices. But I think that, especially considering the fact that these are both in the same price point, them using a soft steel, them not doing anything extra to the blade, them using just regular black plastic handles, I think that makes this a much less sort of smart buy than getting this, especially considering the lifetime of free sharpening this comes with as well. I'll put a link down to both below. If you guys have any questions or comments or concerns, let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you very soon.